I think if this team really does hit the ground running and we see some strong results, they qualify for Dallas and keep having decent performances, then I'd stick with this team. I mean, it's not like Nilo's been proven at the highest level of the game. He's still a prospect, ultimately. Of course, he was a Metizport player, so it would have been quite cool to actually see him playing against some of his former teammates, but unfortunately, that will not be the case. Now, we're going to jump into the first map of the series, the lower bracket semi-final. Winner of this has to win just one more best of 3 to qualify for Dallas. We're starting off on Metizport's map pick. Jurek, choose the CT side to start off on. Let's get underway.
Very much looking forward to this. Metizport have a wonderful opportunity here, it feels like. Dust2 is not one of the favourites for Heroic in the pool. They've lost it to 3D Max twice, actually, and they've lost it to Paravision as well, even though we know how good Paravision have been lately. So that's it's going to be a question mark, and let's see if Metizport can take advantage of that. We'll get more into the nitty-gritty about their roster as we go over the series, but we're straight into the action right now. 4 players up elbow onto the A site, and Linus can't connect a shot, nor can Pius, and they've now got a plant available.
Yeah, nice and simple coming through here from Metizport. Simple and direct has worked effectively. It's going to be a difficult retake. Sure, there's a kit in play. They're going to group up here with all 3 players coming through from Catwalk. Going to have to be some nutty shots landed. Tania, well, we know what an incredible player he is, especially on Dust2. It used to be Gun5's best map at one point, and he was a massive contributing factor in that success that they had. Let's see if he can find a way to try and crack open this retake. Oh, the tip of the spear. That's a great first kill coming through from him, but all of a sudden, left to his own devices, isolated and overwhelmed, Metizport will open up first.
Yeah, I completely agree on Tania. It's one of the players, like, when we covered a lot of Gun5 and like the sort of tier 3, tier 2 other cups that we would have a chance to watch him in, often we would talk about Casello on that Gun5 team as a player that would be one for the future. I think he still is, but, you know, Heroic choosing Tania, it does make total sense, because he's a little bit older, a little bit more experience, of course, from playing on the likes of Namiga in the past. I think, honestly, he's hit the ground running brilliantly, but Metizport, right now, the state they're in, of course, we can always argue about how, listen, they made mistakes with their roster in 2024, losing ZTR, losing SURSP, both have gone on to do wonderful things with Gamer Legion and Wildcard, respectively. But I feel like right now, they are in the best position they've been in a while with their current roster. Like, Hampus is just a slam dunk, right? I think Plopsky is still a good individual at this level too. It's about whether they can push on to that next level. And despite Hampus definitely being an upgrade in the in-game leading department and the fragging department, they don't really have that out-and-out star, do they?
Yeah, they do have 5 very solid players, and it's not to say that one of them can't step up and actually kind of take that mantle as the star player. And we see some evolution from someone like an Adam B. I mean, Plopsky has been playing out of his skin lately. He has kind of been saying, I am him. I am the star player that we need. As we do see them trying to get onto the same bomb site once again. There is a player who's on the box right now, residing in the smoke. He's going to jump up on a timing, but Lumi, present-minded, great awareness. That's his second kill in the round. He's another one of those names I'm looking at and thinking, yeah, Lumi has the potential. He's got the mechanical ability to take over games with his AWP. We saw him a little bit inconsistent yesterday, but if he can just figure out that consistency, I think that Lumi is certainly going to be a big player for Metizport.
Yeah, I think so too. They've actually done really well, like just a pretty methodical round here to avoid the force buy from Heroic. They've managed to path their way into A once again pretty comfortably, only losing 2 players. Lumi doing good work, as you say, more known for the AWP. Isaac could go down here and probably should, but actually checks it quite well and deals with Xfloud quickly. But yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I feel like that's the only question mark right now for this Metizport team, right? Sure, I mentioned them at the what feels like errors they made with their benchings from 2024, but now they're in this position they're in. They only really have that 1 or 2 question marks left of that Lumi consistency, of whether Adam B can be a star, maybe alongside Hampus while he's in-game leading. You feel like you need a little bit extra firepower, maybe just 10% more. To maybe get back to a pretty decent level again. But they're here, they're in the qualifier, they're still in with a chance at Dallas, and that's without Nilo, so there you go.
Yeah, they certainly have handled the changes very well, because it's not like that was a roster change that they inflicted upon themselves like some of the other ones you referenced last year. And I'm right there with you that this is probably the best version of Metizport we may ever have seen, actually, since the inception of this team, since they've come into the space. And You know what I will say, because I have also been one of those people who is heavily critical of the changes, put some tweets out with about the changes, and I think Aziv's even engaged with me. They're generally.
Yeah.
And, what I will say is I appreciate that they're making moves, right? That they're thinking, how can we get better? It's like, sure, you know, sometimes they made some questionable decisions, but at least they're not one of the orgs in the space that's just sitting around twiddling their thumbs and kind of just content with what they've got, not always searching and thinking, is that player's available? You know, should we try and find a way to bring him onto the team? I mean, Plopsky was a gamble. That was a roll of the dice, and one that I'd say has ultimately paid off.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, like, I think Plopsky, maybe you would look at him now in this Metizport team, right, after what he managed to do with NIP for so many years, and you're like, wow, Plopsky in the year of our Lord 2025, like, is he still relevant? Well, honestly, like, it surprises me too, but I think he is. I think he does a really solid job for this team at the moment, and yeah, I'm quite impressed with sort of the direction they're heading now. They have improved a lot in my eyes, like you've mentioned, so... Anyway, let's we kind of had a little chat about the teams. We'll get into more of that later, of course. But now we've got the proper gun round finally to come. Hamper sticking with the Mac 10, and some pilots did have enough dollar to get the AWP out and armor.
Have to see if that's going to play a role here. Sunpias has been very good here in the heroic jersey in the short stint he's had with the team so far. And Dust2 certainly an AWP's playground. Metizport again, very methodical, as you'd expect with any team led by Hampers. He's got the Mac 10 as well, so no doubt he'll be thrusting himself in first. As they have been able to find a bit of control here. Again, very similar to actually what we saw in the pistol round, just a bit more of a calculated approach, more util. Numbers-based approach here as they start to set up. And there's going to be a big job here for Youngster over on the A-bomb side.
Yeah, Hamper's about to burst his way in, but actually that's a really good catch from Xflad. Actually, before Hamper's even got through elbow, taking him down, and he takes Plopsky as well. That's pretty solid. Tip of the head spotted. That's not an easy shot for some Pius. He has a second bite at the cherry. He won't be allowed to get that one either. So they got onto the site, but they have an opportunity to creep one player up here. It's Linus. He's been spotted out now by Adam, and they have to fight in the open while some Pius is on long. And that's going to be too much for Metizport to handle with two players trying to force their way into position. And Tanir will get the kill and the defuse to get Heroic off the board.
Yeah, very well done there from Xcloud. Excuse me, it wasn't actually Youngster. Got to get used to the HUD again, having the coaches and the numbers being different and shifted. But yeah, that was a good hold from Xcloud, finding 2 kills. And then Sun Pius towards long, not really rooted out of position. Even though the bomb plant comes through, still able to hold the line there and work with his teammates on ramp, get the necessary trades, get the job done. Still good util usage from Metizport. They didn't have the flash that they needed there to really be able to cross Sun Pius's angle safely. So instead, they kind of they compromise. They throw the molly, forces them out of position a little bit. Good pathing, you know, good crouching as well, making sure they don't overexpose themselves as they cross into the A site. But Heroic are now on the board. So they coming towards long here. Xcloud completely. It's actually Linus very blind there, but still able to at least come away with the kill.
Yeah, actually just bounding their way through that long smoke. That was no holds barred on that one. And Hampus has already got that close mid-doors control, and he sees the trajectory, of course, of the util coming in from Tanir. Tanir goes any further forward here. He should be a dead man, Hampus. Patience. Who pulls the trigger first? And it's Hampus actually to look away at exactly the wrong time. Nice little crunch there from Heroic, as they had their short player, of course, coming in to help too. So Hampus removed, and they have to work their way up long now, but some Pius has got the elevated angle, and that is one that Isaac will not be expecting. It's Adam and Lumi remaining. And Heroic have done a really good job to wrestle their way back into this game really quickly, actually.
Yeah, they're going to feel solid. They're going to feel like they've got a foundation now because they've been able to lock down the defense on the A-bomb side, and they've been able to somewhat shut down the long play. And I like that Tanir also goes searching in towards middle after Heroic lose long. It's good to see that they've got that dynamic about them on the CT side, that push and that pull, confident to make a bit of a play there in the mid-round. And they've got the AKs to work with as well, which certainly does enable them to go for those slightly more aggressive, those risky plays. Enables them in those gunfights, right, by leveling out the playing field. As Metizport have got some money, but not enough to go all in, so it's upgraded pistols and it's util. And a chance for Heroic to level it up.
Yeah, we'll start it off. Some Pius is ready, but mostly the B players being shut down by the riflers. Comfortable in the end. Adam may be able to scavenge that one AK, but that's all he's going to have to work with. trying to work his way up towards short. Of course, without the bomb, all he can really do is just look for some extra damage to the economy, and Alliance will stop that from happening. And of course, you know, that's the thing with the cores as well, Matt, right? In the situation we find ourselves with the VRS system, if Falcons are going to buy the Heroic core, then Heroic, to stay relevant in the scene, have to do the same with a team just slightly ranked below them. Sangal was probably the best option they had available to them. They took it. Sangal were amazing last year. I think they won 2 ESL Challenger League seasons. Of course, showed up pretty impressively at Pro League. Unfortunately, they were one of the big disappointments of the Shanghai RMR. But, you know, it is basically Sangal with a massive upgrade in some players. And actually, arguably 2 now with how good Tennier's looked.
Yeah, it's very true. And I like that a core has stuck together as well, right? Because we get to continue to build on the progress that they made under Sangal. Not like all those players have to go their separate ways and then rebuild with an entirely new team and a new system. Taken arguably the best parts from that roster and continue to build. I mean, of course, Yotta in Eternal Fire was an incredible player in that Sangal roster as well.
Yeah.
But, yeah, good opening kill picked up. You mentioned how Sunpius is certainly a massive addition here for this team, and he's already putting up some good numbers, some good kills here in the early stages of Dust 2 with the Zorp, having some good presence.
Yeah, I mean, with all due respect to Samey, of course, who was the AWPer on Sangal back then, I think some players will say me. There's one player you definitely take there every single day of the week, in a month of Sundays. So, yeah, it's going to be pretty comfortable for him to slot in. He's looked pretty good, and I hope he continues to improve. Metizport started well on Dust 2 here, but they've been pegged back now. Now they're in a situation where they need to be a bit more explosivity in certain positions because they're getting kind of picked off. They're creeping through mid there. Didn't work at all. Only Adam again is the man to get 1 kill. And they're forced to go in toward B and toward 2 riflers. I'm sure that Molotov might move Youngster away from the position, but now Tennier's here too, doing more tap damage, and he sees both of them reposition. It's a bit whiffy on Adam. His crosshair looked pretty decent on that first bullet, but gets there in the end. And now Isaac is 1 versus 3. Nice opening tap, unfortunately, and he'll be a bit upset by that one. He's got the kill, but dinked down to 5 HP with 4 seconds in the round. Lovely catch on Linus, but Linus knew that he just sacrificed himself to guarantee the timeout.
Yeah, because either he gets the kill on the player sticking the plant, or he dies and there's no time left for the bomb plants afterwards. That's why Sunpius is just tucked into the box there. And that is a very well-managed round there from Heroic. I guess they were always supposed to win it in the 4v2. If Metizport had a little bit more time there for Isaac to cook, who knows what happens. Maybe he fakes the plants and gets a kill and Linus down to a 1v1, but that's not the world we live in. Heroic, they've strung 4 in a row together, and they should be able to add a 5th to that tally with relative ease. I really like the way Heroic are playing the CT side right now. They're not just sitting back idly and passively letting Metizport play out their defaults and take their control. They're peaking on timings, they're having a few little mid-round plays here and there, and it's looking pretty damn good here for Heroic early on.
Yeah, forcing Metizport back down to their half buy again. Isaac will still have the AK, obviously, but that is all they'll really have in terms of a threat, it feels. Good opening pick as well. Isaac will actually go in straight away to trade, though. That is a good time to do it. Now, can they get a player anywhere near that CT position to herd that AWP into the hands of the Metizport side? Isaac has gone in for a little bit more, but Tanir realizes that they could go looking for that gun. So he's the protector right now of the AWP. He's on the ground, and he will catch Isaac in the end. So, again, pretty calm and composed from both teams, actually, it deserves to be said. And right now, Metizport, after it working in the early stages, feel like they do need something a little bit pacier coming in. But if Plopsky hits more shots like that, maybe that is the way in. Long corner to watch for. Lovely shot from Linus. That's actually not an easy one from there. But the AK picked up for Adam will get the trade. 2v2.
He's got Kevlar to work with as well. There's a good chance here. This is probably the best position Metizport have been in since they actually won a round. And it's going to be Tania who goes the long way around here right now. Does Adam B actually consider this? He's looking in this direction right now. He might hear the footsteps as well, but Tania still comes out on top. That leaves Plopsky alone. He has hit a 1 dig in the round already, but out in the open, getting pinched upon from long and short. Unfortunately, he does get found out, and Heroic will recover to win the round. Diffuse going to come through. Gets a little bit shaky, but it's still the points on the board for the CT side. I will say at least Metizport find a couple kills in the bomb plant. Some damage is necessary to keep the CT side economy honest. But I'm actually in accordance with you. I think we need to see maybe a little bit more impetus coming through here from Metizport.
Impetus is a good word. It's actually on one of my lists of words that I kind of have in my mind, and actually written down on my phone on a little notes app thing. So it's like
I've also got a little page in a book when I'm watching a cast and I hear someone use a nice word. I'm like, oh yeah, I'd like to integrate that into my vocabulary as well.
Exactly right. I mean, with just regular sports commentary as well, you hear a word and you're like, oh, damn, that would work well in Counter-Strike.
Or you're reading, or on social media or something like that. Yeah. I actually used to like what Machine did sometimes before a cast. He'd be like, guys, give me 3 words to work into the broadcast today.
True.
And then, you'll just get like a couple different fun words to use.
And then a more cheeky one.
And a more cheeky one, yeah. Sometimes it's a little bit more risque for the broadcast. But, you know me, Trav. I don't mind crossing that boundary a little bit every now and again. Always in good taste.
Yeah. So now they've got the guns back out once again for Metizport. They've got the AWP in Lumi's hands, and they go for this sort of regular default, which you've seen from them basically over the entire half thus far. And then group up together and burst together. That's what I want to see in a round like this. Right now, it feels like it's a bit samey. Bit same old, same old. And obviously, Heroic, they've got so much time in the round, they're able to, like, herd HEs over to CT and toward that short position and just to continue to stack damage. Sunpius does go looking, though. His patience runs out, and Lumi gets rewarded.
Yeah, good patience there from Lumi, just posted on the angle. It's an opening kill here for Metizport, one that's gone untraded. That's a rarity for them here in these past couple rounds on Dust2. And if they lose this one, then I feel like they're probably under the pump at that point. I've got a couple players towards long who can come through nice and late, and then a short take as well. Nade will dunk down. There's those nades you were referencing. And xCloud once more. He's going to go searching. This is because Heroic have intentionally given up long. They decided to rather try and contest towards short. This round lives and dies for both these teams. Skirmish is going to break out here. Smoke fades. xCloud gets himself one and the second there onto Plopsky as well. Wonderful transfer. Bomb is dropped and it's now panic stations for Metizport.
Yeah, that is probably the perfect plan put in place there by Heroic. I couldn't think of a better situation to actually go for that. Hampus has got intel on one player, but he's now so far away. They've got the bomb on short, 13 seconds. We know what the answer of this is going to be to this round. It's going to be 6 for Heroic. And Adam and Hampus are forced to find somewhere to keep themselves alive. Adam will realise that the one spot available to do that is toward long. And he'll manage to do it. But yeah, just perfect choice by Heroic to go towards short there in that scenario. Probably one of the most common positions on Dust2, right? To get yourself prepared for a take. And they read it really well.
Yeah, I feel like the players who went towards long for Metizport needed to do a bit more there. And try and figure out what was going on towards long. Because the guys on short were smoked off. They were blocked. They needed some sort of attention to be pulled away from them. Some sort of assistance elsewhere on the map. And I think they were just a little bit too passive over towards long, as we do now see an investment coming through from Metizport. Not necessarily a convincing one, but they have been able to win the early fight this time. Linus has hit the deck, and maybe this is the round we see Metizport just turn up the gas a little bit.
They might start to realise as well that some of these things they're doing, which are pacier, are being more successful as well. So we'll see if if they clock onto that. There is a big flank already in xCloud, and Plopsky, he's definitely aware of that possibility. xCloud's going to be super frustrated. Oh my goodness, I was going to say, he just gets 1D'd, but now he's got the perfect timing. How many players has he got in front of his eyes right now? It's going to be 2, and he sees a sight player of Adam as well. That's a gorgeous third from xCloud. The plan for Metizport was good. They put themselves together, but sadly, it's only Hampus, more stuck than he's ever been in his life on site, and he's doing well to fight out of this right now, actually. Do need to be careful. He's still relatively healthy. 47 HP, playing the little angle on the corner of the boxes, but xCloud is going to make it a quad, and he couldn't have played that round any better.
Yeah, what a ridiculous round coming through from xCloud, because it's not like he's just been gifted those kills. He's the one who's had to go venturing. Again, a great response from Heroic when something has kind of have not gone their way or gone awry at the start of the round, like Linus losing his life out at the start of the round towards long, he's activated, he's pushed up middle, he's got that really early flank. And Plopsky's spidey senses were tingling, but unfortunately the timing was just so slightly off for him, and it was just punished completely. xCloud with that little bit of trigger discipline creeps closer, so once he does pull the trigger on Lumi, he knows he can swing straight away and catch the rest of the players towards long off guard, doesn't give them a chance to react. That third kill that he got though, that was a very impressive frag, which went a long way in making sure Heroic had the advantage in the retake. And then he even finishes off the job as well.
Yeah, it's a really good point, right? Like, Hampus did a pretty good job to make that round close at the very end of it. So, yeah, a lot of that was all xFloud's doing. The boost towards short, xFloud and Sunpius doing this one together, but good flash. Nice little protocol there for Metizport to remove any risk of Sunpius getting that kill from the boost, at least easily. Yeah, xFloud's one of the most underrated players in my books as well. I really like what I see from him in nearly every single game I watch. I even liked him in Eternal Fire during their roster merry-go-round where they kind of just couldn't find an answer. He was a casualty of that, sadly, but in the end it was the right call because Wicadia turned out to be an absolute gamer. But, yeah, I've always been an xFloud enjoyer.
Yeah, I feel like he really did transcend to the next level in Sangul. I didn't really like him as much in Eternal Fire maybe as you did. I feel like there was a lot that was left to be desired in that team, and once we saw him go international, that's where he really started to soar and inflict the pain. And I think we could see him end up on that team one day. Again.
Yeah, imagine.
For longer than like 3 weeks.
The argument was right at the time when they wanted to replace Calyx. Like, xFloud's actually probably the better replacement than Jota, but you know they molded Jota pretty well in the end. And Linus, oh my word, Hampus and Lumi given no chance whatsoever on that one. That's a beautiful two-piece. And he's got an opportunity for a third as well. Isaac. He started the round, but he's going to have to try and find a way to end it right now. Another flash will come through, but he does well to take the kill. 2 versus 2. Adam Long, Isaac Sight. Youngster is very aware of that situation, and he uses new box on elbow to perfection. It's now all down to Adam. He's stuck kind of on the corner of the smoke. He's been spotted out, but he will find one. It's down to Tanir to trade, and he'll do exactly that. Heroic winning all the close rounds at the end of this first half.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty close in these past few rounds. Metizports have certainly been in winnable positions, but they just haven't been able to convert these 50-50 sort of end round situations. Heroic are doing really well right now. 8 rounds in a row. We haven't seen Metizport win a gun round yet here on the map, and that's a massive concern. Plopsky 3 for 8. He's the guy we've kind of touted as the current star here for this team, or the player who needs to kind of step up to that mantle. Last round of the first half. But Heroic go 9 in a row to make it 9-3. I don't see a way back into this for Metizport going into the second half.
Yeah, it's been an incredibly impressive streak. Metizport, you know, without a doubt, they've had a pretty good qualifier here. And as I said, their roster is right now in one of the best positions I've seen in a little while. But you can't argue that they're anywhere near Heroic's level. Heroic have proven that in these last 8. Sunpius, oh, the flick up goes straight between the legs, it feels like, of Hampus. But even on, what was it, 11 HP, he refaces and takes him down anyway. Survives one more bullet through the door to put himself down to 1, but that shows that he's feeling confident.
Apparently, but I don't know what just happened to that molly. Either way, Linus out of position will still find the kill. Sunpius has been able to find another. I can't believe his shenanigans in the round. A frag on 1 health, and then a second one comes through for him as well. Youngster has got some support coming through over on this B-bomb side. I don't think Plopsky and Isaac have any other option but to commit. They have got a smoke grenade between them. Going to try and use that towards the door. But Tanir's gotten into the site. That's going to make matters even more difficult. That's going to take all the attention away from Youngster in the corner. Crossfire is set up perfectly. Youngster activates. Tanir will finish off the job. That is 9 rounds in a row here for Heroic. Surely an unassailable lead on the half.
When I had dreams before these darker days, I thought I found my way. Quick And now I'm falling, falling deeper than a flag. I can't control it. Dark against the sky, it's not so black and white. It's like I told him, there's things that I can't fight. I just keep going, I just keep going.
Real impressive recovery from Heroic, and it was only that 3-0 deficit. Metizport started the game well. They were quite methodical and composed, but after that, 9 in a row for the favourites. And now on T-side Dust2, you'd think they'd be able to close this one out.
Surely, right? Surely. And they're going to go for the brute force approaching towards the B-bomb side as well. Isaac with the Julius just gets run over by a truck. That truck has a name, and its name is X-Floud. Oh, B-bomb side completely opened up. Lumi the first responder, but it's a scary scene right now. He's been forced back as well. Bomb plant going to come through, and Metizport will have to retake without a kit.
It's so frustrating, right? You get yourself in toward window, you think, okay, maybe we could go for a few cheeky peeks here, and then you see a molly come at you in a pistol round of all things. You're like, they've got a molly? What the hell? It's absolute madness in window as they try and force their way in, but this is what the B-bomb site of Dust2 is like. You just cannot get through that crossfire, and it's the easiest of holds for Heroic. They're up to 17-5. And, you know, at this point, even if he's not the player that Heroic keep on, which, you know, I'd be surprised of at this point, he'll be on the radar of lots of teams at this sort of top level at this point. He's really proven himself over the last month or so.
Yeah, and I'm so excited to see how far he can actually take things, because we saw his talent was completely undeniable in guns. He was such a good player there. Now he has a far better IGL, way more experienced. He's got an incredible AWPer alongside him as well. Not easy. Oh, all right, right on cue, Tania, just as I'm picking him up, just as I've got the glaze session going on here. He's got a way better AWPer alongside him. He's got way better support and better communication. I mean, he can only actually show us more of what he's capable of under these ideal conditions, as the pistols towards short have done a fantastic job. Tania again is going to get called into action to try and save the day. A 1-versus-1 against Isaac.
Isaac's got the scout picked up for the plant on the top of the box, and Tania sees him and he realizes he's got an advantage in the duel. Oh, the little jump spot as well to see if he's still there. It's very awkward between Isaac and Tania, but now he's got an opportunity to put himself in an even better position. Scout is drawn, but Tania knows he's got all the advantages in the world in that fight. And it's a 3k clutch for him. Nothing Isaac can really do. Too good.
We always reference the caster curse. Rarely does it happen where we talk about a player and highlight their strengths and highlight how good they are or things they do well, and then just immediately gets shown in practice straight afterwards. I mean, he's got 135 ADR right now. Tania, slow down, man. He's just running around, punching them in the face, saying, hello, I'm here. And Metizport, well, they're going to empty their pockets again. Force buy after force buy. This is 11 rounds in a row. Absolute carnage. And it's Metizport's map pick.
Yeah, that's the most painful thing. Like, if you look at the stats for both these two teams on maps played this year, right? Yeah, Heroic have 4, 3D Max twice, one in the Bounty, one in the qualifiers for this event, one against Paravision and one against Liquid. The only one they won was against Liquid in the Kato play-ins. Whereas for Metizport, they played it once this year only. That was against Vitality, which again is a very good test. They took 9 rounds off them. But at the same time, Heroic do have more reps and have plenty played, obviously, at a better level and a higher level than Metizport have. And that can be the difference.
Yeah, proving to be the case here so far, especially with having such good individuals, right? Which is something we've said that maybe Metizport lack a little bit, is the firepower on an individual level. However, towards long, they've certainly won the skirmish out. This is looking very good. They've got the man advantage, a 2-man advantage now, and they've inflicted good damage to the 2 players left alive. Heroic looks very lackadaisical in their approach here in this round, taking a bit for granted, I think, just trying to walk out of long. And it's a good cleanup here. Isaac with a little neat burst there will finish off the job, and Metizport are finally back to winning ways.
That's one way to do it. Not the best of purchases, but they get it over the line. Unfortunately, they'll know it's a pretty similar situation for them. Because they've got 2 scouts on Lumi and Hampus, for goodness sake, and there's actually one on some Pius as well. Not many professional rounds of Counter-Strike, you see, with 3 scouts in play. It's a rarity here. Congratulations, chat. You've seen a bit of a unicorn round. Chat, is this a W? I'm not so sure.
I don't know, Trav. We'll have to wait and see from the aficionados. Only they can tell. Does look like Heroic are going to go for that big numbers-based approach here as well. 5 players grouped up right now, linked together in towards middle, edging their way forward. Plopsky actually got the jump on Youngster. He was able to spot the leg, but he still comes off second best in the gunfight. That's a problem. Look at how that just cuts the map down the middle. Going to make it so much more difficult for the players to rotate across towards the A bomb site should that be required, and surely it will. I mean, Lumi is here watching the cross with a scout right now. He has an incendiary to try and buy time, but oh man, how does this one go down? Blood in the water, that's the name of the scout. There has to be blood on Dust2.
Incendiary, Matt. That sucks. That's not going to do a thing.
Just tickle their feet, Trap. Put them to sleep, maybe.
Oh, they managed to make their way in. Some Pius obviously got tagged, but he's been able to get the plant down, and this is so painful for Metizport, right?
Round over.
Round over off the back of that 1 kill. You mentioned how the map was split open. That is the main reason why this retake is not even going to be attempted.
I just think that Lumi's playing too passively. I don't know why he's not actually continuing to commit to that angle on Catwalk there, and he's kind of just fallen back long. And I think that he should have been fully committed on the angle, just gone all in. If he dies, then so be it. Then they can save their guns. But just trying to make a hero play. Maybe he hits 2 headshots in a tag or 1 kill in a tag and gives his team a chance. But they're just going to fold. They're going to call it a day. Can Heroic find anything here in the dying stage of the round? Doesn't look like it. But they're up to 12. That's map point here on their opponent's map pick.
Comfort for Heroic. The favourites doing what is expected of them. Don't forget, we do have Astralis versus BetBoom coming up as our final BO3 of the evening. And just a little bit of a summary of kind of where the bracket is at. There's 1 spot left through the EU qualifier for the main event of Dallas. That will be decided tomorrow. We need to find who's playing that BO3 with these 2 games here. And if we get a possibility of that Heroic versus Astralis, the classic grudge match, wouldn't that be fun? Youngstar will manage to entry Isaac. Lumi may get 1, but it's just the OP angle of the close tunnels boxes from xFloud. They're not even going to really rush into this. They're taking their time. Linus has got possibility of catching rotations in that Xbox position. There are 2 players outside door, but there's Linus getting that kill I mentioned on Adam. Now they're so worried about mid. Tanir might realise he can just peek window. The flash comes in from xFloud, and Tanir just goes for the peek. Oh, what a masterclass of a map from Tanir. 23-6. Heroic 1-0.
Yeah, that is a massive result coming through from Heroic. What an impressive display. I mean, they lost the first 3 rounds, lost the pistol, the force, and the conversion. Then they go on to win 11s as well, always have that upset potential. I will say Metizport are no slouches on Anubis either. They won on the map earlier on today against Namiga, who are a very good Anubis team, right? Problem with Metizport, Travis, they've been starting a lot of their games in this qualifier very slowly. I mean, they had to make that incredible comeback against Nexus on the first map. That was Ancient yesterday. They started very slow on Inferno against Amiga as well. They could make the comeback happen there. And they started very slow on Dust2 against Heroic, but they were never really able to get going thereafter. We need a strong start from Metizport. We need to see them firing on all cylinders from the word go. Isaac, well, they've already had 1 cylinder removed from this V5, I guess.
It's a V4. I can think of maybe like
it's a
one
V4
car
now, true, yeah.
It's in the history of automotive engineering that's like been like a V4. It's like an old Alfa Romeo or something. I do know my cars, but I can't remember. Anyway, 4 versus 4. That does make it a V8 still, which is very common. But 4 on each team, obviously. And Lumi, with that P250, already tagged down 228. They do have good util here, Metizport. So they've got that molly, so they've got a couple of flashes and that smoke. So they're in a situation where they could actually just execute onto a site still. They are going to use some of that coming in right now. Tanera's pushed into main. That's a perfect place for him to be. Probably one of the last places they might check. And Wally will clear out the plat, and that's exactly what happens. Tanera from main does get his 1. It's a good tap from Lumi. And because they know of Tanera's position, they're going to plant more open in toward Temple. But that could be their undoing because there's a double retake coming in from E-Box. And Tanera's doing more work. Hampers is down. It's now Plopsky to try and clutch the round for his team. He's found 1, but he needs 3. He's got some Pius and Tanera chasing him down. And it's comfort again. Tanera starts where he left off from Dust2.
Yeah, just immediately, right? Good opening kill found, and then he gets the tap, like you mentioned. A very good position taken by Tanera in towards B main. Not going to get cleared initially, and it makes the retake so much more doable for Heroic, not having to worry about B main. And also a small detail in that 1v2 there. I really like that Sun Pius and Tanera swing the same side of the pillar together. They don't give Plopsky opportunities to try and isolate the fight so he can dance around the pillar, cover himself from one player, isolate a 1v1, get that kill, and then force a 1v1 afterwards. They never actually end up leaving each other's side there. They never give Plopsky that chance there to isolate the jewels.
Yeah, just take their time a little bit, right? Just give themselves a second or so to make sure they're in a position which makes it a guarantee rather than any sort of risk. Tanera's got the XM out, the best gun in the game. And the best gun in the game with the best player on the server. Surely that means he just aces them here, right? Without a doubt. Youngster will get flashed off the angle with the A1S. He should know he's in that corner. Now, Tanera is obviously stuck behind pillar. Now 27 HP. He needs to hit a pretty much immediate pump shot. And you know what? He somehow found a way to do it. Hampus did not see that one coming. And he gets away with his life on 2 HP as well.
Yeah, I feel like Tanera's probably done his job here in the round. He can kind of rely on his teammates to finish it off from here. And in fact, he wants a gun. There's an AK on the deck. How has that AK ended up there? It must have been from an HE grenade. That's just a gift imparted on Tanera. Unfortunately, Youngster's gone down. So that does kind of open up the door on this B bomb site. Tanera with only 2 points of health is going to make him super tender right now. But he's still got another frag with this HE grenade. Plopsky with the spray through the smoke has at least gotten 1 back. But the man advantage will persist for the CT side. And it's not far from Linus actually getting in on the action as well. He's creeping through canals. Bomb plant going to be attempted. They're still keeping the attention away from Linus. X-Cloud's found another. And it requires a ridiculous 1v3 clutch from Plopsky. One that's surely outside of the realm of possibility.
Oh, they've re-smoked him as well. Sure,
I don't know
A1S.
if I like that.
Tracers actually gives him an opportunity, like you say, and actually it was accident X-Cloud, but it's not the diffuser. 1 more bullet on that diffuser, and he's found him. Tanera 2 HP will finally get the kill. Who would have thought that Tanera would have opened and closed the round after he was 2 HP from basically the very beginning? What a round that was.
Yeah, that is ridiculous. That is insane coming through from Tanera. I was mentioning how he could kind of clock out. He's done his job. He's done his shift for the day. But evidently not. Tanera had to work overtime to win that round there for Heroic. Oh man, like I said, I don't think smoking off B main's the play in the 3 versus 1. Just scrap the util altogether. You know he's B main. Just triple swing him or tap the defuse, force him to swing into you. By throwing that smoke, you actually create a little bit of a barrier, and you give Plopsky that chance to rattle off shots through the smoke and maybe find a lucky kill. And he does. He gets 2 kills. Tania though saves the day.
Yeah. And there was awkward moments in the round earlier on as well, right? When when X-Cloud sort of just jumped past the CT smoke. Plopsky didn't catch that timing. He used all his A1S bullets on the player that was plat. So he had his deagle out only. In the end, he was allowed to fall back into main and get that reload off, and it almost won him the round with the combination of that and the deagle. That was amusing. They're going for a bit of a faster A pop this time in Metizport with this buy they still have in play. It's a force, somewhat, with these 2 rifles in play. Make that 3 now. They've already lost Adam, though. It's super awkward to get back into the play because Heroic are already here again. There's a site player to worry about. Linus has sorted him out. That was Isaac. And don't die to the Molotov, and you're good. 3-0.
And this was the full investment coming through from Metizport, right? Because they keep getting bomb plants and a compounded round loss bonus behind them, and they know that Heroic's economy was in the dumpster coming into this round, but all they get from it is a plant with no further damage. Here I'd like to see them just half buy. No reason to keep up with this force train. Metizport yet to win a gun round. Something I'm going to keep in mind here until we see it happen in the series. They haven't won a gun round. Heroic are in complete control. In fact, ever since Heroic have started winning rounds in the series, Metizport have only won 1, while Heroic have won 16, Trav. This is a problem.
Actually, yeah, it's a 16-1 from CSGO right now. That is where we're at. Isn't that crazy? That's a very good point. I only just realised that myself, actually. That's wild that Metizport have only won 1. And of course, you mentioned gun rounds as well. Like, some of the successes they've had have mostly been on pistol conversions and then a half-buy win, right? So
yeah, exactly.
Metizport have been completely outclassed thus far. But, you know, at the same time, it is an expected outclassing. It's just, at online Counter-Strike, right, at this level, very often can go back and forth, very often can be a bit more unpredictable. I guess, like, you know, this Heroic core, the Sangal core, they were forged in the online madness. They know how to deal with it.
Yeah,
I mean, to be fair, so was some players as well on Movistar back in the day.
I was expecting it to be more competitive than what it has been, even though we did think Heroic came into this as significant favorites. I know that Metizport have what it takes to make this close, and they've done well here in this round to make it 5v3, but there's been a great answer back from guess who? None other than Tania, who's yet to die. Mr. Invincible so far here on Anubis. And again, he can't really just clock out. It's still work to be done in the 3 versus 3. Adam B's attention has been taken away from the platform. Linus will pounce. That's going to send the bomb in the opposite direction, or is it? No, he's going to try and commit to B here because of the position that Campus has. Tania's just going to walk into the crosshair of Plopsky, and there we go. Couple kills offered up, a bomb site in full control of Metizport. Surely this is their first round of the map.
I was about to say about Tania, maybe. He's on for a wonderful opportunity. That's a big misstep from Hampus. Once he finds that that's where some pass is coming from, he doesn't need to run away there. He gets caught very easily. Doesn't gauge the timing there whatsoever. And some pass, he almost finds Plopsky in the corner of the smoke as well. Thankfully for him and for Metizport, they finally got another round on the board and broken that streak you spoke about.
Well, they still haven't won a gun round, so they haven't broken that streak just yet. But at least they have gotten around on the board. A bit of a reprieve. I think Heroic actually just completely overplayed that round there. I mean, you can understand the first kill that's kind of forced upon them towards A main. Not much gripe with that one, but I don't think Youngster should have been going through E-Box in the 4v5 against the Eco. He goes down there as well, and the round is just a struggle at that point for the CT side, who now have to empty their pockets to afford a full buy coming into this round. Let's see, can Metizport start to put some pressure on their opponents here by winning this fifth round, rather?
And I thought Hampus had maybe sold that round. I thought that, you know, running away like he did in that position, surely he would have realised he had no time to run away, as opposed to when some pass would swing that angle. So I thought that was the misplay to cost Metizport more. But thankfully, Plopsky, reliable as ever. Even now, after all these years. Some pass set up with the AWP. Util now in not a great place for Heroic. They've got 2 smokes remaining. Thankfully, there's no flash in toward E-Box to stop Isaac. And just willing to reface it, and Lumi was given no chance whatsoever there. Hampus tries to trade through the main smoke, but Tanir sees the tracers, takes him out. Will get taken down, but Sunpias is having himself around here. 3 already. Blopski's whiffed, I'm afraid, and that makes it 4 for Heroic.
Yeah, Sunpias rising to the top of the servers. The sun sets on the round for Metizport. What a great round coming through from the Spanish AWPer. I mean, the way he sets himself up initially in E-Box, first frag is free. Then he re-peeks into an angle that's being held by a rifler with perfect crosshair placements. Yeah, no problem. Tears his head off as well. And then even is able to affect the round thereafter. That's a great play coming through from Sunpias. An AWPer calling his own shots. An AWPer who knows, okay, I'm going to try and set myself up on the front line, floating around the map, expecting the action to come down exactly where he positions himself. And that's Metizport back to square one, ultimately, and it's not even like there was a contest.
And don't get me wrong, right? Having Simple back in the action in Counter-Strike was fun when he played on Falcons for a little bit, right? But at that time he was added, Sunpias was looking the best he'd looked for quite a long time. You know, I know maybe that there could have easily been some things behind the scenes which, you know, add to it. There's always people that talk about that sort of thing with any tier 1 roster, to be fair, when it comes to like mood and attitude and whatever. But Sunpias individually as a player was looking great.
Yeah.
And bit of a slam dunk for Heroic for sure.
I mean, it was just a Nork, a la Nork device situation all over again. It's like, unfortunately, if somebody like Simple comes knocking or gets an offer, doesn't really matter who you are or how good you are, what sort of form you're in. You're going to get benched in his place. But I'm right there with you. It feels like Sunpias was one of the sole reasons that Falcons were even competitive in some of the maps that they were playing. Either way, Metizport have decided to spend all their money. This is a big roll of the dice. If they lose this 5-1, 6-1 afterwards, Tanir with the shotgun, how far does he go searching? On the fringe of the smoke right now.
Tanir is just trolling right now, but in a good way, because this gun is sick. And he's in a great position to try and use it. He might be forced forward. Can he do any more damage? Oh, it's really awkward, and he gets jumping shot by Isaac. That XM is now in Isaac's hands. How good will that be, though, entering a site on T-side, for goodness sake? That Molotov has missed. That gives Youngster an opportunity to play that backpack position. In fact, they've missed 2 mollies in that position, but it's not going to hurt the round thus far.
Yeah, it's all worked out in the end there. Good frags being found. B-bomb site completely opened up. There is a huge flank from xCloud. Linus doesn't really have the luxury of waiting for it, though. He's got to kind of try and capitalize on this position he's been able to sneak his way into.
Yeah.
Are you frozen as well?
I'm not.
Okay. Oh, I'm back. Okay, I'm back. We're good.
Back.
Yeah, all right. Slightly concerning, but I'm back.
Same result happened that you kind of described anyway. Linus was like in the site, but didn't really have an opportunity to do much. And then xCloud, they knew who he was from earlier on. He tries to creep back in and perhaps go for a ninja there, hoping they maybe left the site. But Plopski was watching it. He's very much aware. And that is a solid second round for Metizport. Again, these rounds are not necessarily coming on full purchases very often. Still some Tech 9s and some Galils thrown in, but they're making it work somehow.
Yeah, these 4 spies are finding success, but they have to string consecutive rounds together so they can actually shatter the heroic economy. That's what's required right now. And there we go. Good opening kill found to try and accomplish exactly that.
Oh, nice shot, Adam. Young Star down. Mentioned that finding a star is one of the main things we want from Metizport to really take them to the next level, as they kind of rely on the firepower from either their IGL Hampus or from mostly Adam. He's having a great round here, and it actually will be between the 2 of them closing out their third. That was the force from Heroic. That means 4-4 should be on the docket.
Yeah, ripe for the taking. It's exactly what we needed from Metizport to make this competitive on the favored side of the map as well. It's not like they've had to do anything particularly special in these rounds that they're winning. I mean, especially in that previous one, they just punished the aggression, set themselves up nicely, and find the frags necessary as Heroic decides to get aggressive. I think the previous Force Spire was the most well-constructed round there from Metizport so far. Able to deal with Tanir's shotgun and E-Box and then just scale into the B-bomb site from there. And now the easiest round of the map and the series so far for Metizport.
Actually true. It's been a while since they found themselves in this position, but they've got an opportunity now to even up the game. It was Metizport who won the pistol, won the conversion on map 1 and looked pretty solid, but then Heroic just stepped on the gas and there was no let up. Foot to the floor. And Tanir has certainly been that way throughout this entire series. Actually, at one point when he was, what, 8-0 in this game, I was thinking, well, after going, what, 23-6 on map 1, are we in for some kind of record-breaking rating here? Because he was on the track for it. I'm just going to quickly double-check that right now. What rating did he get on map 1? He got a 2.25.
Okay. Wow, I wouldn't have guessed that. I was going to go like 1.9 or something like that. 2.25 is incredible.
Yeah.
Something that Hampers teams have always been great at is grinding their way through games. Hampers teams have always been able to just find ways to win rounds, to find ways to keep themselves alive. He's got an incredible temperament as a leader to never throw in the towel, never give up, never think, okay, this one's too far gone. That's why they have the tendency to make these incredible comebacks. That's a Hampers thing right there. The energy that he exudes, the way that he rallies his troops as well. He'll never stop believing until the game is entirely over. That's why we can't write them off here. Underdogs world against them, all the odds stacked against them as well. But you cannot count them out.
And of course, in a different universe, maybe this would have been the first time Nilo would have played against his former team. But
yeah, would have been fun.
Would have been fun, but that is maybe something for the future. I see our lovely friend Tom in chat.
I was just thinking that as well. Yeah,
educating the Twitch chat about the current situation with Heroic. Listen to him, guys. He knows what he's talking about. Trust me.
Yeah, I actually got the pleasure of even going to the Heroic headquarters. Got to attend their year-end party last year. And that was really cool. It was a lot of fun. It was actually season end, more in like June, July. Yeah, and it was a lot of fun, man. Really good people over in the Heroic camp, and yeah, very accommodating and warm and welcoming. So it's good to see the success that they've had. I mean, remember, they were on the brink of bankruptcy at one point. There were all the articles about how they were looking for extra funding, right? And if they couldn't find that funding, they were almost going to have to shut their doors down. And now they've sold some incredible packages of players since then. The Stabby duo to Astralis for reported $2 million. And then, of course, their core to Heroic. So I'd imagine the balances of the books are checking out a lot better lately. I like my crypto portfolio.
Yeah. And, well, our former commentator friend, Mr. Sneaky Beaky, is, I'm sure, very happy about that as well. Bless his heart. Youngstar will work his way in toward E-Box, go for a swing, but Isaac looking sharp. That's a really good entry that forces Tanir to fight in the open. He doesn't realise that Adam's already in the site, pretty much, on the corner of the smoke, and this take has gone very well. Again, Linus is kind of ahead of the game on the flank, but he was ahead of the game a bit too late, if that makes any sense. Plopsky's watching for it. All his teammates are dead. Round over.
Yeah, and that's going to be the lead here for Metizport. And this is the first gun round in the series that they've actually won as well. So certainly a big boost for them. I love the way that they go about their business in terms of getting onto the B-bomb site. Good work done to close the gap in canals and get into E-box, and then connecting the dots as they come through B-main, getting some really good gunfights. I mean, Adam B is integral with their success there with the frag he gets on Tania. And everything falls into place very nicely as Metizport start to piece together a solid-looking T-side.
You do think, though, that with Heroic, how many reps they have on this particular map, it's a situation of, okay, you've got 4 on CT already. We know how heavy T this map is. I would say 5 would be a good half, and they're already 1 away from that. So if they can find 1 more, they're in a solid position. But Metizport have fought back, and that is the most impressive thing, an important thing for them, to be competitive. Unfortunately, the one player, of course, we kind of touched on before the game even got underway, that's Lumi. He has not had the consistent game we needed to see from him. That is one of the factors for Metizport that they need. They need their AWPer online.
Yeah, and it's a really big game as well. Of course, he's the least experienced player on the Metizport roster. first big team here for him. He was in the Little Mix team before this, right? And kind of got earmarked and then picked up from there after putting up some strong performances. But he really is still a prospect. And this is where they need him to deliver. I mean, it's tough going up in the server against somebody like Sunpius, who's done it many times, one of the best AWPers out there. But they need Lumi, like you say. AWP on the T side of Anubis, probably one of the most important T side AWPs that you have, just because of how important it is to take initiative and be proactive on the CT side of this map. That's where the AWPer comes into the equation to try and punish those sorts of plays. Just patiently post it on angles, you know, maybe A main, maybe E box, could be towards middle. You've got to be patient on the T side AWPing of this map, but it's one that can have quite a lot of impact compared to other maps.
And patience on this map in general is also very important, right? Like, you speak about it in that way with the AWPer, but I feel like every role, patience is important. CT side, right, if you get off to a terrible start, say you're like 7-1 down, just to take a breath, realise that 4 or 5, and you're very much in the game, especially with 5, and even very often 3. So, you know, people are learning the meta, people are realising that what you've got to do on CT side is very proactive, very aggressive, take canals, take mid, look for fights very often, but, you know, at the end of the day, nice shots, Adam. Eco spray down there, clean. No, that doesn't mean that if you get your T side right, as Metizport are doing pretty much right now, as a CT, I feel like there's not really much you can do, which is why it is currently T-sided. If you has to often be mistakes from a T take to, you know, for them to go wrong in a way.
Not much going wrong for Metizport here, though. They've won what now? Is this going to be the 4th round in a row? 3rd round in a row? I can't actually remember what the streak is here for Metizport, but yeah, it's going to be their 4th round. It's 4-5, so actually 5th round in a row. We got there eventually, gang. We got there eventually. Numbers
counting is
hard.
hard.
But this, yeah, it's challenging, especially once you go past 3. Either way, this is indeed 5 in a row for Metizport, the Swedish squad, giving them some good momentum, some wind in their sails, and if they can win this gun round here that follows, then 8-4 is ripe for the taking.
We say counting to 3, but not even Valve can count to 3. So
yeah, they stop at 2. That's my kind of people.
Keep it easy.
Why complicate things, Trav? Exactly.
Keep it real.
All right, well, Heroic, what's the change-up going to be here from the CT side? Because not like these rounds they've been losing have been incredibly close. Metizport have kind of been bossing this affair. They've been in control.
Yeah, it's been impressive. In the game now. They weren't really in the game at all other than the first couple of rounds on Dust 2. It was a masterclass from Tania. And it was an amazing start from Tania on this map as well, but cooled off. Everyone's cooled off a little bit. Sunpius gifted an opening frag there, though. Hampus wandering into the mid doors without any utility. Makes it a freebie. Manus has got the info that there's more where that came from. So he's going to fall back. Sunpius is holding the line from the temple position to watch in toward camera. He smoked off, so he'll be forced away. And actually, Metizport are going to go straight back in toward Canal and E-Box. And Tania, good shoulder peek, gets the information and does exactly what he needs to do. And actually, Adam realizes that now is the time to put pressure on. That's a good reaction, though. Tania could have easily gone down there. He's got a lot on his plate coming his way, though. One more would be amazing, but he's out of bullets. He's been forced away. And Youngstar only just manages to grab 1 kill himself. So Lumi and Isaac, 2v3. X-Fan's very close to the action, but chooses to swing as they go through it, and Isaac gets completely blinded up by that. But now Lumi has a chance to deliver a round and something for his team. It's a no-scope on Xcloud. Bomb is down, and he's got a chance.
He's been very quiet throughout the map so far. 1 kill coming into the round and a 1 versus 3 required to win the round for his team. By process of elimination, Heroic should know exactly where he is right now, but that's still okay. Lumi will be able to find the first. It's down to Sunpius, who doesn't have a kit. That's why he's flying forward right now, trying to bait the shot out. Big wide swing, but it's not going to work out. Lumi may not have had the save throughout the map that he would have wanted, but boy does he deliver the goods when he's required.
Oh, that is what we want to see from Metizport's AWPer, putting himself on the map. And Heroic, they only really have themselves to blame in that one. That was a messy retake, kind of going 1 by 1 in all given situations there. Maybe they were forced to, with where they put themselves to get themselves into that advantage to begin with. They were forced to continue to take fights. With a no-scope from Lumi. on xFloud. Slight whiff as well from Youngstar at one point. Give them space. Tenier tried to waste as much time as humanly possible in that position, but he wasn't given any more than the one. And Lumi is the hero. And you can tell how good this little streak has been for Metizport, because their money is brilliant going into the final round of the half, and of course Heroics isn't. Very weird buy to end off this first half.
I mean, that round one right there could be the difference between a 6-all half and an 8-4 half here. Great clutch coming through from Lumi. Perfectly calculated as well. Can't really fault Heroic the way they go about the retake. That was just Lumi playing it very nicely in terms of how he gets the first frag, nestles himself into E-box. Doesn't just sit by too passively. He realizes he kind of has to peer out, see if he can get a kill.
Yeah,
and then even finishes off the job.
And that shot on Sampias was very difficult. Like, Sampias did absolutely everything to force him off the angle, including the shoulder picks, of course, and then the widest swing humanly possible, and the fastest possible with the USP. So, yeah, and Adam, oh my goodness. Speaking about needing a star, well, it's not just Plopsky and Lumi getting some rounds under their belt for their team. It's Adam doing wonderful work. And that's a spray transfer double entry there. He's up to 15 for the half. It's 5 versus 2. And now just 1. xFloud remains. Metizport, they're here to play. Heroic have many more reps on Anubis, but maybe that's given Metizport more things to do their homework on. Now they know where xFloud is. All he's got to really do is force himself into 4 more fights. Maybe finding a couple. But there's no kit on the floor to pick up, I don't think. There are 2 players main, 1 player E-box, and he is gone. But Heroic, they've kind of gone as well. Metizport, 8 on T. We thought this could be a bit of a walk in the park after map 1 for Heroic, but Metizport are here to play. They get a lovely streak on the T side of Anubis, and now on CT, we'll see if they can use the more difficult half to the best of their ability with an 8-4 lead.
Yeah, momentum behind them. I mentioned how we needed to see a strong start from Metizport because they've been starting most of their maps poorly as of late here in this qualifier, but this is looking a whole lot better coming into the second half. A pistol round win would go a long way here for Metizport. Youngster had a tough time of it. 3 kills to his name off the back of the CT side. Linus not much better either. Gonna need more from these individuals. As Heroic do just kind of show some presence, show a little bit of ankle there over towards A main. Keep Metizport interested, force them to throw their utility as well. And then they double back for a mid-round mid-take.
And they've got the util required for this particular call as well. Got the smoke and the flash. Xfloud will wander forward, and Youngster waits with that aggression in toward A main. Gets his 1-for-1, but now they know Hampus is there, and likely probably to be the only player there. And some Pius has just pre-fire tapped the angle, and it's taken Hampus out of the round. Pretty ridiculous. Plopsy's given no chance, and nor is Isaac. Goodness me, they have died in a split second, and the Heroic will take this pistol almost certainly.
Yeah, just really good shots being landed by Heroic. This was dominant, man. And this is going to be a huge boost for their confidence as well. Only Lumi left. No armor, no kit, no utility, no chance. As Xfloud will finish off the job. A triple kill coming through from him. I mean, I thought that shot there from Sun Pius was brilliant, but I still thought there was a chance in the round for Metizport with the 2 players coming through from A main. But Xfloud just says no. Just twice. With kisses on the forehead there from his Glock.
That was incredible. They weren't even given a chance whatsoever, and that's what I'm saying, right? You know, 4 on CT side is absolutely okay for Heroic, especially if you win the pistol. That 8-4 will turn into 8-6 very quickly, and the first gun round from Metizport will not be all that strong, obviously, either. I'll probably have M4s, but maybe lacking in the util department. I think want to maybe go down to a FAMAS to afford that. Who knows? I do actually think the FAMAS buff has worked kind of well. I do like it, but right now, every time Metizport have seen an enemy, they've died instantly so far in these last 2 rounds. They managed to take 1 gun out of the hands, so that's Tania dropping. But Linus has crept in with the MAC-10, looking to try and guarantee this round now. He's got Plopsky, and you need to be wary about the player on the right, of course. Should get taken down, but no, it's only the dink. Isaac can't finish off the job, and Linus has a chance at all 4, but Adam will eventually put him down. He's found the AK, but saving is going to be tough because they know where he is.
Yeah, I mean, if he does go towards T-spawn, he's probably going to be able to avoid them, though. And this AK could make a big difference going into the first gun round. We saw how strong Adam was with the AK in the first half. Some very important opening kills coming through from him on that B bomb site with Metizport's success. So, yeah, at least he's going to have this rifle at his disposal. A couple kills here for Metizport's in their full eco. That's some value for them to take away from the round, although, hold on. Oh, hold on. Adam B completely blind. Oh, man.
Oh, no.
My whole little monologue there is completely rendered useless as, well, the AK will not be carried over. And that means an MP9 trap. They're going to go for a half buy here.
Okay.
This is not something you see too often. This is a very unorthodox approach, but one that I can actually get on board with before.
No, I actually agree with you. We see a couple of teams give this one a go, and realizing and noticing how important it is to have full utility and go for like a proper full buy. And of course, with the MP9s in play, this is still a winnable round, without a shadow of a doubt. Sure, nerfed slightly, but I've seen many a team fall foul of that. And maybe you'd expect this more of a play like this when you've got a lead to work with on a map like Inferno CT. You go for the MP9s on this round, like right here. And prioritize a full util to take banana properly and all the above on Inferno. Anubis, maybe? Haven't seen it as much. So I appreciate this decision. It keeps them in with the chance at the round, but also prioritizes the next one.
Yeah, it means it guarantees them an AWP rifles full utility, because you even just mentioned that the first gun round is going to be missing 1 or 2 things coming into it for Metizport. That's not going to be the case, but it also just kind of delays things a little bit here as well. Could allow for Heroic to go up 8-7. What most teams do is they just force up in the second round, full save in the third, and then buy in the 4th round of the half anyway. At that point, the round loss bonus is enough to basically get you everything you need.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Metizport have maybe missed a little bit of a trick here by doing things backwards, but it just puts a lot of weight on the gun round. And if they lose that gun round, that's a huge problem for them with how much stock they've actually put into it going forward.
And right now, of course, Heroic will be under the impression, without a shadow of a doubt, this is a full gun round. That's what the teams usually do.
Yes,
so
that's what they're expecting for sure.
They'll be playing this as if it's a full gun round, of course, with the Linus Mac 10 in tow still, but yeah, it's a case of, will them playing it like it's a gun round actually catch them off guard? We'll have to see. There is a 3-man stack toward A right now, with Lumi holding the temple push in for the flank on B. And Linus, of course, will be the man to go hunting with the Mac 10 to find some intel first, and he's found Lumi, and now he'll know that's a Lumi 5-7. So that call can now come through and say, I think they've half-bought again, lads. And if they go toward A, is a more problematic option. Through camera might make it a little bit easier for them. They can rush to their own Molotov on that one, and Adam might get this kill, should get this kill, and will get the kill. But the Youngstar has had a slow game. Has had his most important round yet. That's 2 critical kills.
Yeah, vital frags, right? Because if he goes down there, there's a lot of positional control for Metizport towards A main, and who the hell knows what happens from there. Adam B going to actually be the only one to find the kill. Isaac was in a good position, but still overwhelmed by Tania, and Heroic do navigate that kind of half-buy very nicely, and that's going to give them a good boost to the economy as we now come into this first gun round. I do like the attention to detail there from Linus in particular to go searching in towards Temple with this Mac 10. Just so Metizport don't know exactly what's coming their way. The plan for Heroic was always to try and split into the A bomb site through cameras and main, but just that extra layer there made sure Metizport didn't really know what was coming their way and maybe caught a little bit off guard with that A split.
But now, as we mentioned, this is the proper gun round. It'll be wary of that smoke though, of course, Tania. It's very easily blocked these days, and or just plainly missed. And I think it was caught there. It was a very big gap over the corner of it, and Lumi with the AWP out, like we mentioned, gets a really lovely opening. But Hampus, again, and maybe caught a little bit unawares in that position. X-Fan will just rip his head off. He recovers the round in a lot of positional control. They're already going toward A, and it's a bit of a nightmare for Adam. Youngstar's pushing him down. He's got to worry about cameras and X-Cloud. And they can herd the bomb over, and some Pius now realizes Plopsky trying to stop that from happening. He shoulders it, spots him out. Linus helps. Round over.
Well, that's unfortunate for Metizport, considering the way the round had started with the yaw posted on B main. And I like the play from Tania, just trying to swing before the smoke blooms there, really trying to force an early fight, full of confidence. But then there's a great response there from Heroic after that plan A doesn't work out the way that they were hoping. There's another gear for them to just shift into, and, well, they make a very compelling case for themselves as they level up the score here 8 apiece. The first 4 rounds of the half going Heroic's way. They started strong in the first half as well, and they kind of fell off as the map went on. Can't afford for that to happen here again on the T side. Finding extra kills here would be incredible for them, Trav.
Yeah, and I've been given some time to do that, but of course Lumi's in a spot of bother now. Smoke will come in. That will allow the wider swing from some Pius.
Oh!
Maybe 2 ticks of the round in the server could have taken him down. But he gets away with it. And that gives them something to work with in the following. But now, as I mentioned, of course, despite real good work from Metizport in that first half, now we're in the situation of, oh, Heroic are suddenly even again at 8-all on the strong side.
And now they're playing against a half investment. Bit of an eco round kind of thing with the max round loss bonus behind them. So Heroic should be able to pip Metizport for the lead here. Go up 9-8, like you say, on the favored side of the map, leading the series 1-0 at the moment. They're in pursuit of that spot in the lower bracket final. And I actually think I'd have Heroic as my favorites to qualify for Dallas from here. Even coming into this Metizport series, if you asked me to pick a team out of the 4 remaining, I would have gone with Heroic. Of course, the other series is BetBoom Astralis. Winner of that plays winner of this. Winner of that final qualifiers for Dallas. And I'd back Heroic to go all the way here. What about you, Trav? Who's your horse you're backing?
No, honestly, I would have maybe given BetBoom a shout if they hadn't got absolutely obliterated by Falcons. 13-2, 13-2 the other day. They were really uninspiring. Had nothing to show. Because they had a really good start to the year, BetBoom. We'll see if they can recover against Astralis later on. That's obviously our second BO3 of the evening. It should be a really entertaining one to keep that team alive, as you say. One more BO3 after that for either one of these 4 that we've got left. Adam needs to be careful, only a 5-7, but they've got Lumi support in play, and the 5-7 is dangerous. Lion's just about to recovers, but Lumi back at the site does find X-Cloud. It's awkward with all the utility littering the site and main. But they are going to get their way in, 2v3, and of course with the weaponry advantage. Sunpire's looking to maybe recover a kill, considering that it's still a 2 versus 3, and he'll get caught looking the wrong way. And that is going to be a huge round for Metizport on the half investment. Sure, they had the AWP, but that was a bit of a fumble from Heroic.
Yeah, just trying to keep things very simple. They were Heroic, and it ends up costing them a great position there from Adam B to play off of Lumi. After Lumi gets that first kill, Adam B gets in on the action as well. Lumi even finds another, and then the retake is made to look easy there, as Metizport regain their lead off the back of that half buy. And that's exactly how they kickstarted their campaign half as well, was with that sort of force half investment. And, well, from there, they kind of tore ahead. Will we see something similar here in the second half as well?
Would look to play aggressive through this, and he's doing exactly that, smoking it and pushing through. A 1-for-1 on the other side of the map, and he does that as a perfect prim actually toward Ruggs, but unfortunately, Sunpire's very ready. Isaac will again respond. It's back and forth in round 18 here. How important this is now for both these two.
Yeah, economic reset looms for the loser. Isaac is going to have to turn his attention back towards middle soon enough here. Metizport have completely vacated the A side. That's why Isaac has to peek into mid here to try and figure out what's going on. And he must have spotted all 3 players, so at least he gets a lot of info, but it costs him his life. And it looks like a good read coming through from Heroic as well, as they shift back over the bridge from whence they came and head in towards B. Metizport have decided to gamble. Instead of playing with one player on either side, they're sticking together, hoping Heroic come in that direction. And, well, now they realize that's not the case. So they're probably just going to bunker down and save their guns. No reason to go for the retake here with the risk that comes along with it.
Yeah, it makes total sense with this one. You actually could give it a look, because you've got kits and util, and they are doing that. But probably, I would imagine, just waiting to see if one Heroic player makes an error. And actually, that could be the error. Hang on now. 2v2. They've got plenty of util, like I said, and the kits available. First CT smokers, not great. Doesn't block off anything, pretty much. And now they need to use that second to block it off. Both players in that position, like you say. And Sunpire's feeling like he has to push forward on this one. They are worried about E-Box. Sunpire's playing inside of the smoke itself. When does he choose to move? And he doesn't even need to move. Linus just sprayed both of them straight through the smoke. And the risk has been removed immediately.
Yeah, and I'm sure the players on Heroic are breathing a massive sigh of relief there, as they do complete that 3 versus 2 post plants in their favor. Unfortunately, Metizport didn't know for a fact that both players would be main. If they hadn't actually fluffed the first smoke, they could have used the second one for E-Box, maybe when it would have been a bit more confident. And that failed smoke is actually what gives Sunpire's the space to push into the B side. I think that's the perfect play from Sunpire's, so he can burst through if necessary. Also, just a bit of a... Alright, never mind. Hold that thought altogether, as we do have a fight breaking out early on towards B main. X-Cloud's been dinked down to 11. Klopski not compelled to try and finish off that frag, though. Instead, he's had to shift his focus in towards E-Box. There's some support coming through here for him, and it's going to arrive just in time.
Give some props to Linus. He's had a number of really impactful kills as a captain, of course, of Heroic. Keeping them in touch in some of these rounds. Klopski needs to deliver now, and playing from that jail position is rough. He has to give it a look and then fall away. And that leaves Lumi on an island and allows Youngstar to entry them. That was a bit of a messy hold, gotta say.
Yeah, I mean, you can't leave E-Box unchecked like that, and then boy, do they get punished. A big wide swing coming through from Youngster, who doubles down on the entries. Far more impactful and effective is Youngster here on this T side compared to what we saw in the first half. And this could be a devastating round for Metizport to lose. They're going to go down 10-9. They're going to have to eco in this next round as well. I say that. They have got max round loss bonus behind them. So Isaac and Lumi can both buy. Adam B has a gun. Trav, your general rule of thumb is 3 rifles can sometimes be enough to justify the buy. But I think in this instance, you probably just go for the half investment.
Oh, it's going to be tight. I think here I would go for a half buy because, again, you still have a chance of winning it. They've won one already, just earlier in the half, a few rounds ago. And, you know, it's not like you're letting Heroic get up to 12. You'd only let them get to 11, right? So you're still very much in the game, but I can understand the feeling of maybe not wanting to let them streak any further clear at all and just try and throw all your eggs into one basket now. They've got an opportunity in this qualifier, in this situation. Do you want to take it now? Do you want to be patient? It's always hard to know what to do in this sort of scenario, and that's why they've chucked in attack to give it a discussion. And it looks like they're going MP9s around the M4 again.
Give the coach Abdi an opportunity to relay some thoughts here as well, give some ideas. I want to see some sort of a pocket rocket round here from Metizport. Let's see one of those crunch rounds into canals or a flash play through a smoke. Something out of the ordinary. They've been good in these sorts of rounds throughout the series. They've been dangerous. Heroic can't take this round lightly. Can't take it for granted. Look at the kill distribution on a Heroic as well. Everybody between 10 and 15 frags. A really well-rounded performance right now coming through from the Heroic squad.
Can Metizport get these SMGs in the action? They've got a lovely setup in mid, and it actually might choose to drop into water. We have not seen much of that, other than one round where they had to kind of retake A when they thought they'd already lost it. And now they're going to try and push across the map. That's what you need to do. You need to be proactive on this CT side, and it's working to catch off some of these Heroic players in terms of damage, but it's still an advantage. Isaac, you can spot it out, but he actually runs down to near, catches the timing when he knows he's throwing util. That's actually a good timing on that one, but some Pius ready again. And the A-bomb site is free after all of that. So despite Metizport trying to force Heroic into errors, and sure, that's another one, it's still a nice setup for both Linus and Youngstar on A.
Yeah, I mean, good movements, good decisions there from Heroic to go into the A-bomb side after having realized what was kind of going on around the map from Metizport's perspective. But still good damage inflicted by the CT side, finding 3 kills, picking up an M4 and an AWP as well. Probably even an AK available here for Hampus if he wants, over on the other side of the bridge. So, yeah, it's still a decent result here for the CT side, but decent rounds like this don't win you series. We need to see them get back to winning ways here. They've only won a single round on their CT side so far, which was that half investment. And if they don't win this round that follows, then you can almost just kiss the map in series and that spot at Dallas away.
Yeah, Heroic have had some fumbles in this particular map. Don't get me wrong. That some of the retakes not working out for them. Some of the players getting caught off guard by aggression, where usually maybe you'd have a better default setup for it. But it can happen, and they've done well to solidify, take a deep breath, recover. When Metizport have given them a game, we thought it would be a very easy 2-0, and it might still be like a 13-9, 13-4 total, but that doesn't tell the tale of Anubis, that's for sure. Good start to the round, though, for Lumi. He's got his AWP out, and he's got a start to the round, and it's Tanir he's removed.
Yeah, Tanir again went for that same play there, swinging B main just before the smoke blooms, hoping he can catch somebody off guard, but Lumi posted on the angle, comes out on top. However, yeah, look at this indeed as they go into the A-bomb site very early on in the round. Good flashes there to get past Hampus, but he will step out on the timing and he catches X-Cloud, especially after Adam B had taken the attention. So that's a good defense being set up here by the CT side, and they will give up control here of the A-bomb site. They do cede control. So Heroic will still find the plant here, and it's not like this retake is going to be the easiest. They've got the util, they've got the kits, but it's still a little bit scary.
Yeah, and Youngster still has a molly as well. That smoke is going to fade camera. He needs to be aware of the timing on that one, because he is shifting into the open right now. There we go, he'll finally get away. But some players in an after plant, you never know. It's getting a bit spooky now for Metizport. 2 players remaining. Can they find them? There we go. Youngster removed. It's now some Pius. 4 to find. Stuck on pillar. He sees one, but the other player, of course, is defusing. So how is he going to be able to remove that one? It's a tag on the second. That's so unfortunate. He's actually legged both of them. Can you believe that? That's an NT. But Metizport will get away with it.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about the smoke being thrown by Metizport there through camera to try and give themselves some space to actually get into the bomb site, because that almost gave Youngster something to play around. Good attention to detail to just kind of perforate the smoke a little bit there, and that's what catches Youngster off. Good attempt from Sun Pius, but really barely even had a millimeter of space to work with behind the pillar. And that is going to be Metizport keeping themselves alive for a little bit longer. Heroic used their last timeout. Coach Saw.
Yeah.
Seeing if he can kind of give them the gas that they need here to finish off the job.
And of course, this Sangalcor right now, they've worked under two pretty incredible coaches, right? Jumpy, which I think was probably one of the coaches that was integral to their success last year, and now Saw as well. They're both being involved in the project is definitely something that's helped them progress as individuals. But yeah, I mean, that retake there was so rough for Sun Pius, right? Like, in a different universe, that second kill is, or second tag is a kill, and then he has opportunity to take the diffuser. And then that diffuser shot, maybe that's not a leg shot, maybe that's a kill, and suddenly then it's a 1 versus 1. But that is for an
There is a world in which
universe.
that could have happened. Yeah, exactly. Just not this one. Okay. Well,
Whoa.
here we go. 11-10. 1 round between these two teams and no money in the bank for Heroic. So if they lose a round here, 11-all should be 12-11 for Metizport, who have been comeback merchants in this qualifier so far. So an incredible comeback from them on Inferno earlier today against Namiga. Great comeback on Ancients against Nexus yesterday. Do they have another one in them?
Yeah, there's actually a number of teams in this qualifier that have had amazing comebacks. At one point in the open qualifier stage, BC Game, in the BA1s obviously, were down 12-6 to Monty. They won in overtime 16-14, and now they're going to Dallas, having beat Astralis yesterday. So never give up, guys. Never give up.
That is the takeaway. As Heroic looks to try and take this round away here from Metizport. Adam B out in the open will be able to get the first. Spots the util, knows there's more where that came from. Lumi with the AWP is in position as well, but he's been forced backwards. LNZ is going to close the door in on them as well. Perfect time on the swing coming through from the captain. A vital multi-kill collected, and you know what? If that wasn't enough, he's been able to add another one to the tally as well. That is brilliant from Linus.
Oh, I was mentioning how impactful he's been in the entirety of the rest of the game thus far, but that is his biggest round yet. He's not just taken the two main players, he's taken the Canal Rotator as well. That's unbelievable from Linus. And that is like, sure, maybe the way Metizport went about that looked a bit messy. You see the way Linus caught those two A main players, but at the same time, it had to be Linus to deliver the goods. Had to hit the shots. And he just took the round pretty much all by himself. And he's been leading by example with some of the plays toward mid as well, right? One of those camera splits through mid worked to perfection. Sure, one of them didn't, but he still had good timing on it, realizing what was going on around the map. Good reads.
Yeah.
Great individual skill.
Yeah, plays the position to perfection because he's the one who really crunches in on those players A main and wins around for his team, because if he goes down there, Metizport have a strong foothold for the retake. But he plays his hand to perfection, and it's not like he was dealt the easiest hand there either. They knew that he was there. They saw the util, the trajectory of the util that had been thrown. Makes it even more impressive. Either way, 12-10. Heroic have got 2 map and series points here to try and finish off the job and lock themselves a spot in at that lower bracket grand final, where they'll play the winner between Astralis and Bedroom. That is how the stage is set right now. 2 chances to seal that fate.
Fair play Metizport for what they've done in this one and fought for this map of Anubis, but now they're in a tough position. No errors can be afforded. Heroic in a normal default, Youngstar holding for A aggression. There are 2 players looking to do it again. It was Linus last time. Will it be Youngstar? He's going for a run throw smoke. Actually might get caught with utility out here, and he's looked away at exactly the wrong time. How frustrating must that be? That gives them water control, and Adam has found some Pius as well. Linus dinked toward Rugs. Shouldn't be long for this world, and he isn't. Somehow, it's worked out for the CT side.
Yeah, timing just awful there for Youngsters. He's trying to dump his utility into A main as that smoke is fading. Probably should have been a little bit more present-minded about the timing with that smoke fade and what it can bring along with it. And X-Cloud, well, at this point, you might as well just bunker down and save your gun, because if you die here, the net economic shift is just not worth it. But either way, they still have all the money that they need. I guess they don't actually, you know.
No,
they actually
not really.
don't. If xCloud had stayed alive, he can drop an AK and they'll have a better arsenal of weapons than what they're actually going to have now. Linus down to a Deagle. Youngster's going to have to settle for an upgraded pistol or a MAC-10 as well. Oh, Metizport. Can they win this last round here of regulation to force it into OT and keep themselves alive? And I also love the confidence from Metizport, Trav, in that round there to make plays through A main. They haven't just gone into a shell because of the gravity of the round.
Exactly, right? Like, you know, one mistake and it's done. And literally, that's what they were burned by in one of those previous rounds, right? When Linus multi-fragged them. So, to go back to it, sure, it caught some relatively fortunate timing. But that's incredible. But now, it could still be an issue. Even though there's a MAC-10 and a Deagle in play, the Sunpious AWP is as well. He's on 19. Now, leading the way for his team. And Hampus will be looking to try and do some damage with the util without facing, and it does chunk Linus down a little bit. How aware will Metizport be? Recovering a 4 versus 5 is hard, but this is one of the hardest maps to do it. That's why they're flashing in toward E-Box. Linus is ready, Sunpious is ready. Oh, and it's a thing of nightmares, I'm afraid, for Metizport. They fought so well, but when Sunpious is posted, there's not much you can do. 2v5 retake. Sure, good util and kits, but everything going Heroic's way.
Oh, man, what a brilliant round from Sunpious. Now they just have to put the finishing touches on the round, just polish off the job and lock themselves that spot into the grand final here in the lower bracket. Adam B and Lumi to attempt the impossible, but as expected, they're not going to be able to make it work. It took the full 24 rounds, but Heroic will come out on top here on Anubis. What a round from Sunpious, Trav. To have an AWPer like that is just of such high value, an AWPer who's willing to take the round by the scruff of the neck and make the play necessary to try and get his team in the round. Remember, they had 2 pistols in